Hi guys, today we're going to look at animal reproduction. Reproduction is obviously important for all farmers because if you are not reproducing animals each year, you're not getting production and you're not going to be profitable then as a farmer, be it dairy, beef, sheep or pigs. So it's something that needs to happen, and if animals become infertile or they can't go into gestation, which is pregnancy, they need to be culled and replaced with ones that can. We're going to look first of all at the male reproductive system, right? And we're just going to go through some of the different parts. Okay, so I'm just going to underline this in red. So we're going to start with the testicle. The function of the testicle is to produce sperm. Okay, sperm is the male gamete. Okay, and again, another function of it is to produce the hormone testosterone, which obviously is the male hormone. It allows for, I suppose, bulls in particular to gain more muscle mass and to gain weight. But I suppose the main function, produce sperm when we're talking about reproduction. The scrotum is the sac that holds the testes in place. Now, the scrotum needs to hang outside of the body because sperm is produced better at lower temperatures. That's why it hangs outside in the sac and it holds them in place. The epididymis is the next part. This is where when the sperm is produced, it's stored there. So when the bull has an ejaculation, the sperm is there, it's ready to leave an exit through the penis. We'll be talking about that in a second. Next thing we're going to look at, so we're obviously looking at epididymis which is where the sperm is stored. It travels up then along the vas deferens, which is also called a sperm duct. Now, if an animal got a vasectomy, or humans can get a vasectomy, what that is, it's cutting the vas deferens. And obviously if they cut the vas deferens, sperm cannot leave the bull's body or even the male's body. So that's a vasectomy. It gets its name for the vas deferens, but it's also called a sperm duct. So it travels up there, passes the urinary bladder. The bladder just holds urine until it's ready to be urinated out of the body. There's seminal vesicles, the prostate gland and the Cowper gland. These are glands that release seminal fluid. Now, remember, the sperm is produced in the testes, stored in the epididymis, but when it's released through ejaculation, it passes up, as we can see here, if we go all the way up through here, past the seminal vesicles, prostate gland, Cowper gland, and into the urethra. What they do, those three glands, the Cowper's gland, the prostate gland, the seminal vesicles, they secrete seminal fluid. Seminal fluid nourishes the sperm and allows it to swim. Okay, when you have sperm and seminal fluid, you have semen. Okay, and semen is what exits the body. Now, if you have a vasectomized bull, he could still have an ejaculation, but it's just seminal fluid. There's no sperm in it, so it's not considered semen. Because remember, semen is sperm plus seminal fluid. So there's a retractor muscle there as well that obviously the penis can retract in and out. And there's a sheath there as well that will cover and prevents infection. But what happens then is, okay, the sperm is passing all the way along here until it reaches the penis, through the urethra. The sigmoid flexor is obviously just allows it to come in and out as well. But when ejaculation happens, the function of the penis then is to place the semen containing the sperm, obviously the male gamete, into the female reproductive system. Anyone doing biology, it's all the same words bar one or two. Like this, if you look here, the vas deferens here might be called a sperm duct in your biology book, and there's not a retractor muscle here as well. But other than that, and it's more or less it's the same names. And if you understand it for the male reproductive system for humans, you should be able to understand it here for the male reproductive system of the bull that we have here. Now, just going down just the parts and the functions. Again, I'm going to talk about those, but again, we're kind of have to explain those, but again, you need to learn those. Again, sit down and learn the terms and definitions. Here then, we have the female reproductive system. And we'll start here with the vulva, okay, and the clitoris, which is just at the opening of the vagina. Okay, this is where the bull, or if we're talking about AI, Okay, the straw is going to be placed. So we'll just talk about natural methods here now. So we'll talk about the bull. The bull places the penis into the vagina through the opening, the vulva, and just below that is the clitoris. Okay, so the sperm is going to be placed here in the vagina. Now, the sperm, I suppose the semen is the correct way to say it, because the semen is still allowing to swim and it's nourishing the sperm. Okay, remember, sperm and semen fluid gives semen. So semen then, carrying the sperm, needs to go up through the cervix. Okay, this is kind of a mucousy layer that's kind of hard, so that's why a sperm will have like a flagellum or a tail that allows it to propel itself through the cervix. It then enters the uterus. Okay, so the uterus, as we can see here, another word for uterus is the endometrium or the womb. Okay, this is where the calf is going to grow. Again, anyone doing biology, you cover this as well. It's the same words that we need to be aware of. What is different here is the uterine horn. Okay, do not confuse that with a fallopian tube, right? Because it actually looks like, in the female reproductive system of humans, the uterine horn actually looks like the fallopian tube or the oviduct. Okay, so here it's called oviduct. This here, oviduct, is another word for it, is a fallopian tube. Okay, so that is much smaller in the cow in this diagram. So it's important we know and understand that there's two uterine horns. Okay, for the cow here we're looking at, same with the sheep and so on. But like, just do not confuse that with the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube is the oviduct, which is appears much smaller there in a cow. Again, the infundibulum, that is, you may not even need to know that, but it's there just in case. That's what kind of catches or kind of caresses around the ovary. Now, the function of the ovary then is to produce the egg, and ovulation happens in the ovary. So that's important. So ovulation happens here, and that's the release of the egg from the ovary. It's caught then by the oviduct or fallopian tube, and fertilization takes place here in the oviduct. Okay, that's important. Fertilization takes place there. So then, okay, fertilization, the cow is not in gestation yet. It needs to come back down to the uterus and then plant itself into the uterus, and then the embryo at this stage, so it's a zygote when it's fertilized, travels down along there, forms an embryo, and then the plant cell develops into fetus, and then obviously into the calf and so on. It's very, very similar to how reproduction happens in humans. So again, look, this will be really, really easy for any of you doing biology, but anyone who's not, again, these terms and definitions are not too challenging to learn. Now, so again, terms and definitions kind of have to explain now. What I didn't mention there is the hormones, progesterone and estrogen. Okay, they're really important in reproduction as well. So estrogen and progesterone, they're secreted by the pituitary gland, but they go into the blood and then they allow for ovulation essentially to happen every 21 days for cows. And we'll be talking about the length of estrus or the length of heat later as well. Now, so this is ovulation and gestation. Again, this is important. So I'm just going to read through some of these points. So during the reproductive, so estrous cycle, an egg is released from the ovary. That's ovulation. It's a fallopian tube. Okay, again, fallopian tube, another word for fallopian tube, okay, is the oviduct. Okay, the fertilized egg should implant in the embryo during implantation. Again, the embryo develops into the fetus and so on, as we said. Again, that happens, implantation again happens in the uterus.